So we were talking about this email that I've received not a long time ago. It's kind of interesting, so I just like to share it with you. It says 10% of life is made of what happens to you. Another 90% of life is decided by how you react or how you take it. We have no control over this 10%. The other 90% is different. You determine the other 90%. How? By your reaction. What does this mean? We really have no control over 10% of what happens to us. You cannot control a red light. However, you can control your reaction. Do you let people fool you? You can control how you react. I don't know what that means. Anyway, let us use an example. You are having breakfast with your family. Your daughter knocks over a cup of coffee onto your business shirt. You have no control over what has just happened. What happens next will be determined by how you react. So in one scenario, you curse, you harshly scold your daughter for knocking the cup over. She breaks down into tears. After scolding her, you turn to your wife and criticize her for placing the cup too close to the edge of the table. A short verbal battle follows. You storm upstairs and change your shirt. Back downstairs, you find your daughter has been too busy crying to finish her breakfast and getting ready to go to school. She misses the bus. Your spouse must leave immediately for work. You rush to the car and drive your daughter to school. Because you are late, you drive 40 miles per hour in a 30 mph speed limit zone. After 15 minutes delay and throwing $60 traffic fine away, you arrive at school. Your daughter runs into the building without saying goodbye. After arriving at the office 20 minutes late, you realize you forget your briefcase. Your day started terrible. As it continues, it seems to get worse and worse. You look forward to coming home. When you arrive home, you find a small wedge in your relationship with your wife and daughter. Why? Because of how you reacted in this morning. Why did you have a bad day? A. Did the coffee cause it? B. Did your daughter cause it? C. Did the policeman cause it? D. Did you cause it? The answer, it says, is D. You caused it. You had no control over what happened with the coffee. How you reacted in those 5 seconds in what is what caused you bad day. Here is what could happen and should have happened. Another scenario. Coffee splashes over you. Your daughter is about to cry. You gently say, "It's okay, honey. you just need to be more careful next time. Grabbing a towel, you go upstairs and change your t-shirt, change your shirt. You grab your briefcase and you come back down in time to look through the window and see your child getting on the bus. She turns and waves. You arrive 5 minutes early and cheerfully greet the staff. So notice the difference. It says two different scenarios, both started the same, both ended differently. Why? Because of how you reacted. You really have no control over 10% of what happened in your life. The other 90% was determined by your reaction, it reads. So I find this email very interesting and kind of related to, our spiritual day-to-day, our spiritual practice, which can shape and change our life and which will actually help us deal with many problems that happens in our life, and you become more open-minded and things like that. When people hear of the Bodhisattva practice for first time, you just kind of have a lot of doubt and suspicious, thinking that something like that cannot be done at all. And because mind is flexible and it can manipulate easily, it can be manipulated easily, even in a positive way too, if you applied all the things, in order. You will be able to realize one day that this can be done too, actually, if you really, try hard. You can achieve a degree of compassion, achieve a degree of love, and achieve a degree of that emotions which are positive and which can actually be as strong enough to move you, So, it's nice to receive these teachings. There is no harm. So we have to just keep our skepticism, doubt, and because we are living in a kind of dog society, so to speak, and and we think everyone is cynic. We become kind of cynic in many ways, that we think everything that is being done is all about politics, all about how to deceive people and tactics that we use, to do that. But it's not true. In our life, if we analyze more deeply and more closely in what happens in our own mind, we come to realize that there are many positive potentials that we have. Although we are, to some degree, we as a human being, we are very, very suspicious, suspicious being. We just, sometimes when we need to just open our arms and we feel like hugging someone, we just can't do that because there is a lot of intellectually, built walls and things like that, which just makes us hard to get to the people and know them as close as anything else. So beyond that doubt, beyond that suspiciousness, we as a human being have a very emotional potentials, very strong emotional potentials that can take us away from the realm of narrow-mindedness into a place where there is a full of spiritual beauty. Like, for instance, compassion is one of the examples that can make us happier, that takes us away from, that leaves all our mundane, activities aside, takes us to something deeper and something valuable. There is a Tibetan saying, if you don't know what compassion is, then try to find out how you feel by observe someone who is very poor, very depressed, very, very, very poor, and very, very bad in very bad condition. Then you just have kind of unstoppable empathy and sympathy that arises in our minds naturally. And it also says, if you don't know what love is, then just look at some babies, watching them, we just want them to be happy. We will do all the stupid things that we can think of just to make that baby giggle. So that's one of the good example of our deep-seated good emotions that is just about to come out as the moment arises when we have to have this when we kind of find ourselves in a situation where we can easily generate love and compassion, but sometimes with ideology, with social belief, with negative patriotism, and sometimes with a negative race supremacist kind of belief makes us blind to all these emotions, and we act terribly wrong. And human history, it's not a matter of one race alone, it's a matter of humanity in general. We all have this negative potential, but at the same time we have this positive potential which is deeply rooted to every one of us. We get brainwashed by many ideologies, social beliefs, and negative patriotism and chauvinism and whatnot. But these are superficial. As a person, when a child is born, that child, I believe, by nature is very happy. That child, by nature, is very positive. He have all these positive qualities to become a good human being, things like that. But it is something other than that, environmental condition, which shaped us to become negative, bad, criminals, and offenders. It is those people are born